Welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk about art education in China. I'm here in Beijing again after 10 years working and living overseas for a reason. I'm here to help a group of entrepreneurs start an art school in China, and my goal is to bring my idea and perhaps help them build an alternative style art school and to build one of the most artistic art school in China. And don't laugh when I say artistic, because most of the art schools here are not artistic, they are rational. I don't even know where to start to explain this, because perhaps you are facing the similar situation when you were young as an art student, and perhaps you didn't have the same problem, but it is a thing. It is a big problem for me and for most of the art kids, like the kids who received art education in China. And it's such a rigid system. They're training kids like training Olympic candidates. And it's such a high-level professional training that not every kid could excel from such a system. This is not for everybody, but there are very few alternative options. And majority of the art schools are training the next generation professional artists. And the parents who send their kids to art schools basically for three reasons. Number one is that they want their kids to become professional artists in the future, make a living in art. There's nothing wrong with that. Number two is they want their kids to be able to get into the best universities, like top ranked in the world, using this Joker card. It's similar to in the US that many sportsmen could get full scholarship from the best universities in the US, especially those are from poorer backgrounds that they could not afford normally such tuitions, so that their only way to change their lives is through sports as a star sports student. I don't know how to describe it, but I think you get what I mean. Playing rugby, playing basketball, so they have a chance to change their lives. This is number two. Number three is that so that they can show their family and friends videos of their kids or their kid, because it's one-child policy, playing piano. It's like, look, my kid could play piano. You know, what does your kid play? So it's about showing off their kids' talents. And it's not even about what the kid actually wants. When I was young, I played 3 years piano, but I hated piano. So my parents said, okay, you have to play something. You can choose, but you have to play something, because we are a family of artists and it's good for you. You never know. You will fall in love with piano in the future. It's like, no, Mom, I will never fall in love with piano. Like, this is not gonna happen. I know what I don't want. So I chose fine art. I went 3 years sketching, and it was also a preparing myself to become the fine art university or fine art school student one day. And I went through rigid training. Everybody, no matter if you like this or you like that, you go through exact same way. And it's very modular, and it is very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like military training for sportsmen. It was all about succeeding the exams, getting the certificate. It was not about what you love. And I'll show you one example. My friend told me he went to a drum class because after 10 years of playing piano, according to his parents' wishes, he never wanted to play piano. He wanted to play drums. But his parents were middle-class parents. They said, everybody play piano. You have to play piano or nothing. So finally, he's 30 years old, he has time and money and control of his own life, and he said, okay, I'm gonna play drums. And he went to a drum class, and the professor is one of the best drummers in town from the Central Academy of Music. And in his first class, he was told by his drummer professor, drum is an art form, you have to take it seriously. And he was like, look, I'm 30 years old. I will never become a professional drummer having the first drum class at 30 years old. Come on, be realistic. The professor said, okay, you can have fun, but make sure that you understand. I'm training you with the best method possible, and you are going to progress really fast. And he was like, okay, let's see. But after a couple of classes, and he totally lost the interest in drum because it was not fun. And he was always early in the class, so he was watching the previous student, who was a 4-year-old little kid, you know, sitting on the tall chair playing drums, and he was not even as tall as a drum or the gong. So he was like, you know, trying to reach the drums with 2 little sticks. And the parents were sitting next to him, pointing fingers and saying things like, do this, do that, hit there, hit that. And the professor was like with a little drumstick trying to, teach the student with a lot of pressure. And the poor little 4-year-old was crying and was begging the parents never bring him again to a drum class. And I assumed that this little kid would never want to play music like in his life. And it was very similar to my own experience, and I thought things had changed when I was in Europe, when I was away. After 10 years, guess what? It didn't change a bit. This happened like last year, and the parents were still training their kids, like wanting them to excel, to hit that KPI with a set of drumsticks and just hit that KPI. And I was like, it's not art education. It's maybe torture, maybe it is art professional training, and not every kid could take that, and not every kid could become professional artists. I was doing some market research, and for example, I saw a school called Hope Fine Art Training, and they started the business in 2004, and they have over 500 offices or centers that are providing art education, and they have over 220,000 kids during the 15 years, like alumni. And imagine, they wanted to train the 220,000 kids to become professional artists. I think the whole point about training kids art is not about becoming professional artists. And maybe some of them will want to become, and there are special training for that, specialized or tailor-made for individual students to enter art school, and it's a totally different kind of training. But it's not for a 6-year-old or 4-year-old or even like a 12-year-old. It's not suitable, and it's too early to say. You are gonna be the next generation professional artist, and you're gonna be the next Qi Bai Shi. You are 6, but we're gonna do it early, and don't worry, your life is gonna be great. I don't want to be that kid holding that little drumsticks at 4 years old with parents staring at me, looking at my every move and taking the joy out of that 1 hour training away. And I didn't want to be that kid. And unfortunately, I was that kid playing piano. I was that kid sketching. I was that kid going through art education in China. And I think it's time for some change. My idea is to bring more artistic art education in China and to really let the kids say what is what they want and what they want to be in the future, and to remove the pressure from the art education. So that is what I want to do. I will keep you guys posted about the project development, and I'm going to do some market research in the next few weeks. And see you in the next video.